Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Daily Spark and welcome back to Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. Now today we've gone a little bit crazy. We've got 2 million zombies surrounding flamethrower tanks and machine gunner tanks. I think they should be able to beat 2 million zombies, but I'm not sure. There's only 2,000 in the middle. We're going to see how long they hold out, and hopefully they can beat them all because they'll just be cool looking. Um, but there's 1,000 tanks, machine gunner tanks in the middle, surrounded by 4 groups of 250 uh, flamethrowers. So we've got the close range tanks for this to take out like melee, basically the zombie apocalypse tanks, flamethrowers, machine guns. See how we go. Um, Without further ado, we are going to begin and see how this turns out. There they go. And yeah, I made them move so that, we still get to see them move and fight, not necessarily stay in the same spot the whole time. Here we go. There go the flamethrowers. Obviously, the thing is, they don't have the support of regular tanks and such to clear up the pathway, so this could just end up in a complete nothing burger of a battle. Because, I mean, these looked like they were firing way faster last time, and now they don't look like they're firing quick at all. Yeah, this looks like it's probably going to be a disaster now that now that I think about it. Those other tanks must have done a huge amount to support. Look at that, though. That's a look. Yeah, I think we definitely went a bit too insane. Two million zombies versus this? Not gonna happen. Let's just watch and see it fail, and then, we'll like speed this up if it's like nothing. I was just thinking, this is actually probably gonna take a long time. Because even like 5,000 health is a lot for zombies to get through. They look like they're just building up. Bodies are piling up. Look at the tanks! It's probably making it even harder because the flamethrowers aren't super accurate. Though the machine gunners are. And obviously they're pushing into this section because it's just a hole. I mean, this could be interesting, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out at all, and it's definitely different. It looks very flashy, and the bodies are piling up. But, oh, look at them. They have to push over the wall of bodies. That's kind of cool and metal. Okay, this battle might develop differently than I expected it to. I thought it was just going to be like a nothing battle, but they aren't dying quickly, which means this could still end up being even because, I mean, bodies are dropping quickly. I mean, they got to kill 2 million, which is an ask and a half, but they also got to get through 2,000 tanks, and that's a lot considering they haven't pretty much got through the first layer yet. So this might be still unbalanced in the tank's favor, which is interesting to look at considering they got them completely surrounded and there's 2 million zombies. I imagine like they're protecting people in the middle and this is the last line of defense. Pretty cool. Look at the flames. Boom, 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 boom. If I had like high resolution, you'd probably see the individual shots being fired rather than just scattershot shotgun blasts. Still not really getting through the middle though, even though there's a gap. They just choose not to. Interesting. It's such an impressive looking battle though. Look at this. Fancy tanks versus 2 million zombies. And they've made an interesting shape out of it, that's for sure. Still a lot of zombies left, but they are dropping. There's gonna be a really cool, there's gonna be a really cool ring of bodies at the end of this. I mean, not exactly a ring, more like a fat cross. But yes, this is definitely gonna have a look to it. Look at the bodies. If the bodies keep piling up, the back tanks won't be able to do anything. That will help the zombies. Though, I feel like every single apocalyptic scenario, zombie bodies has always helped the zombies. The more zombies that die, the stronger the zombies' position gets because they can just climb them. So World War Z, when they used themselves to climb a wall, it's like that, except the dumb zombie variant, where they just use the bodies of their fallen allies to climb a wall. They really just build up in this one corner for whatever reason, because they're not being fired at. I wonder if it's like the healer bodies that's not allowing those ones to be shot at. It's an absolute chaotic field. Well, while we're here, comment below what your favourite zombie movie is. Or TV show. Because why not? Interesting. It's interesting that like they fire in like these scatter shots, but they're firing just up. They're not even like hitting anything. What the hell? They only do 3 damage each, and they're just firing up. It's meant to be flamethrowers. Barely any of them seem like they're actually hitting the front lines. No wonder they're not dying. They're not being shot at. Freaking mental. I want to be one. And look at this. It actually sounds like a tank firing a gun. That's an absolute safe body. Look at the damage I'm doing. It's absolute insanity. Look how many I've killed already. Gotta try and keep them from even touching you. It's half health. The tanks are at half health, so that means if all the frontline tanks are probably at half health. The body piles are back here, so maybe there are a couple of tanks that have already fallen. What about these tanks? Yeah, they're doing less damage because of their flamethrower style, but they still should be killing way quicker than they are. If I shoot down into the ground, I don't know if that's doing better or not. But I've killed 2. Oh, that's from before. Yeah, some still haven't taken damage. Like, there's definitely lines are being broken. There's like, for example, here, that's gonna take ages to get through there. But the corners they're getting through quicker. Like the cross is definitely becoming more defined as the battle goes on. And numbers are dwindling on the zombie side. And you can see this side is the most successful side by the looks of it. Maybe that side is. This side's the least successful by the looks of it. Like, it obviously stands out as looking like the least successful. In fact, the tanks are pushing on this side. They've broken the ranks of the cross and are making this side a bit pointed. This guy decided that the cross is meant to be given out as like a cross of valor, and it needs like a ribbon to attach onto someone's jacket, so they're pushing out to make the ribbon. This side is very much in line. They've maybe pushed a tiny bit, but not to the same extent as the other side. Though this side actually looks like they're doing better than the other side, actually. This side is a bit of a mix. This side looks like it's doing better and worse at the same time. Because I think I think the center is better than that side's center, but the outsides are way more stacked. And this side, they are pushing out ever so slightly. The tanks are ever so slightly pushing out on every corner. So the tanks do still have the upper hand. The corners is obviously where they're losing and making the cross more and more defined as we go along. Not a cross, more like a plus, I should say. This would be a fat cross. This is the most reinforced corner, I believe, out of all the corners. And I don't know why that happened, but it did. And I don't know why this side is... I mean, I think it must be because of the angle they're firing at. I mean, look at that. They're just firing into the sky. It's taking them way longer to kill. Look at this side. This side's actually hitting their targets. Only like a quarter of their bullets are flying over the enemy. Here, they seem like they're the most effective. They're almost firing down into them. They're on the body of the corpses of zombies. This side's a bit of the... yeah, more of the same story. They're actually firing down. Only a couple of them are firing straight up into the abyss. This side is very ineffective at utilizing their abilities to hit the targets, and it's probably the walls building up more and more and making it even harder. This side is the only side that's not really pushing. This side is probably having the strongest impact on the zombies are probably have the strongest impacts on the tanks. At least their bodies are. I mean, look at them. The flamethrower tanks are barely doing anything in this fight. Like, most of their shots are going right over the top. And anything that does hit is only doing 3 damage. So the ones that are the bulk of the damage is probably coming from the machine gunners on this line. I mean, it's a complete terrible show on this side. It's a shit show. Every other corner looks like they're gonna win, and this side looks like they've got halfway through. Yeah, look at this. They're nearly cleaned up here. Then they're gonna probably push around to the corners. Over here, yeah, they're nearly cleaned up here, and then they're gonna push around to the corners. And over here, they look like they basically are cleaned up. They're just getting the most overflow from the sides. So yeah, I'm gonna say that this side's actually the most effective. Look at that. They still have the most on either side compared to some of the others, but their center is almost completely done, and they have the most because the zombies are like, quick, fill in the gaps. This side's absolutely going to push out and surround the corners before the other sides. They better hope that side better hope that they push around that way, because they're struggling over there. Look at them go. They're about to get absolutely finished off now. And even these corners don't look like they have much compared to over there. Zombies are actually pushed into that corner. Whereas this side is, that side's still holding their corner. This side's still holding their corner. That side's still holding their corner. This side doesn't have a corner anymore. This side's been completely obliterated. They're completely pushing in and surrounding. This side's absolutely letting the whole team down. The zombies would think they're winning on this side. Look, look at this. They punched right through. I mean, there was already like a little gap, but now it's like become obvious. Like it's not a little gap anymore. It's a big gap. Every other side is nearly done. I mean, this side's getting to where we were like 5 minutes ago, maybe even 7. They're finally up to this point. The tanks look like they finally pushed over the hill, and some of them look like they're actually laying waste to them properly, but there's half of the other half is still firing up into the sky. Look at all the mounds of... Look at them. Oh my god. There's just mounds in the corners. Does every corner have mounds? Let's see. Oh, this side it does have mounds, but this one's like at the line of the tanks. Same with this one, it's at the line of the tanks. So interesting. There's like a different sort of look to each corner's fight. And this corner's definitely got a look. It's the look of failure. They've broken rank and now the cross is starting to look mangled. This side already looked a bit mangled though. The zombies, I mean, it was a bit more square, but now the zombies are pushed in a little bit. Especially because this side's absolutely failing, so it's a lot of extra work's being put through. Look at this, the tanks are almost at the end here. They're probably already done over in that corner where they're going to start to push around. And these corners are at what that side is up to. Yeah, look at this. This side's already pushed through completely and they're starting to surround and finish off. What about this side over here? Oh, this side looks like they've been done for a long time. They're absolutely cleaning up the sides now. And they absolutely need to, because look at this. This is a mess. This side's a mess. There's more enemies directly facing these tanks than there are left in the corners of the others. Failures. This whole line of tank is failures. They don't know their freaking ass from their freaking tits. This is definitely a different build up than the other corners as well. They actually pushed through. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because this whole side's a failure. That they're finally pushing through. And this side has been the second weakest, so it does kind of make sense that they're breaking through here a little bit. But that other side's been a success and they've been let down. And look at this. It's a completely different affair. They're completely holding the line here. Honestly, I think this whole side will be done before this finishes this side. Like, the tanks will end up surrounding the zombies because of how lackluster this side has been with their kills. The defined plus shape is still somewhat existent. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes as the fight goes on. I mean, they're pushing around. I think only the bodies of the zombies will show the past shape. I'm glad I didn't have a super weapon click because I accidentally clicked. That would have been such a shame for this fight to end like that. I'm actually impressed on how this fight's gone. I thought this was gonna... At the start, I thought this was gonna be a demolition by the tanks. And then as it began and they built up, I thought it was gonna be demolition by the zombies. But I just don't think they have enough damage. Like the zombies are starting to push through on this side, but I think that's more to the tank's ineptitude than the zombie strength, because as we can see here, we got a total victory. They're just cleaning up the corners. Over here, total victory, just cleaning up the corners. Over here, total victory, just cleaning up the corner. Oh, did they actually punch through? Huh. They must have actually punched through finally. I'm impressed. But we got a total victory. Except for the corners. And over here we got a total victory except for the corners. And this side is really having to put in overtime to deal with this corner. Because holy shit, look at it. Those corners are nearly done. This corner. Ugh. Oh man, this is... The zombies are going to win on this side before... The zombies will win. What happened that was so drastic was it must have been the hill placement. It perfectly benefited the zombies so that the tanks could not fire down into them, especially when the bodies piled up, because something happened that fucked this side up real chronically. Look at this. There's such an overpour of zombies here because of how ineffective this side is, that they've poured over to this side and that side respectively and weakened the fuck out of them. This has been fairly even, but yeah, look, the corners have completely collapsed now on this side because the tanks here have not done good enough to keep everything balanced. These tanks need to hurry up and reinforce their allies before they lose. Oh my god, imagine being surrounded by flamethrower tanks like that. Yeah, look at that. That's like they perfectly held the line here. Here they pushed the line out further. Here they nearly perfectly held the line. I know they got broken through eventually. Look at this. It ended up being as I predicted. This whole side... Oh my god, look at that. There's just lines of blood from the machine guns. Jesus. Yeah, this whole side won before this side even got close to winning on their main front. This side's the reason the zombies have a chance. It's lucky the tanks have reinforcements, and I still am not sure about how this fight's gonna go because of how bad it's gone here. I mean, they're still holding the line. I'll give them that. They're still holding the line. But, come on. When your other tanks have wrapped up that they're now helping you, you know you've made a mistake. You don't actually see it on this side, like you see bits and pieces like the lines, but I think they were more firing a bit diagonally and stuff. But yeah, you don't really see it as much. You see it a bit on this side, but even here you don't see it much because of the blood pouring. You see it a bit out in the distance because, I mean, this corner was trying its best to hold out. But the overflow of zombies, I mean, because this has stayed pretty flat this whole time. The others, you could see they dipped in the middle and then were catching outpourings from the corners to fill out, like to bolster. Like, you can see how it's curved because the corners have more zombies. Like, those sides had that same thing, but there were more pouring from this side because there was too many zombies here to fill in the gaps. They weren't being killed fast enough. That's it. It's no wonder these corners completely got obliterated in the end, while the back corners held brilliantly. I mean, this corner was holding brilliantly. Was. But I guess there's only so much you can do when you've got a D- rated squad of tanks. These loons don't know how to shoot down. And now these tanks have to clean up the mess. Everybody in these tanks, you're fired. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules, I only enforce them. Yeah, look at this. Cleaning up. I mean, it's definitely landscape based though. You can sort of see that this side's more pointing upwards, so you don't see the same, you know, blood splatters like this across the ground. There's a bit of a pile up here, but I don't have high blood levels, so you don't really see it. You can sort of see the scattering of blood where the hills come up, where shots happen. Like, look at that. There's lines. But this, I mean, this battle's still going, so I'm just gonna peek over here real quick. Look at this. You can really see they shot down into them because of the blood splatters and lines. So it was definitely easier for the tanks on this part. Look at that. You can you can see the direction the tanks were shooting. This side you can't, except in the distance. It's probably why this side held longer as well, because they had that little bit of hill where they could do damage to them in the distance. And the rest didn't have that. They're about to win here. They've also built up bodies. They've kind of broken the trend of the cross by creating a new front that they're fighting at. But, I mean, what can you do? Is this side gonna lose? It looks like they're gonna lose. I still can't believe how drastic of a difference it is. Look at that. I mean, if I was to just show you this, the tanks are losing. But then you see the rest of the battlefield and the tanks are absolutely winning. These tanks are so lucky they've got good backup teammates. That's all I have to say. Absolutely pretty. I mean, it's just seeing the machine guns fire at such a rate of knots. With the fireballs going, the flamethrowers. I was thinking about upping the accuracy because the accuracy is like quite low on what the person suggested. But I think it scatters them too much. Flamethrowers can actually be quite focused. I think the range is the big thing about it. Be more like 85% maybe would scatter it at an even amount. Maybe 90%. Because then it still scatters, but it's not like a shotgun blast in a sense. But yeah, and also, if anybody's interested in doing so, you can comment below and let me know what type of custom units you would like to see in the game. Like, if you got any ideas for tanks, any ideas for some other melee units that you'd like to see, maybe some heroes even that that utilize some, you know, abilities like tank abilities. I made some Death Squad units, and one of them was a sniper variant that used a tank shell to fire out of his gun, so it would blast enemies into smithereens. Look at that, they're finally pushing around. That side's actually having a bit of trouble. There must be less on that side or something. Or maybe there's more enemies left, but they're finally pushing around. Why are they firing all in this one spot for some reason and not stopping? Oh, there was a zombie trapped in a tank. There we go. Yeah, this side's nearly lost. I mean, I still, in a sense, can't believe that this side's nearly lost. They don't even look like they killed much compared to everybody else. I mean, there's definitely a huge pile of bodies, but, I mean, yikes. These are copping it. How much health do you have? Yeah, look at this. I fire straight down into you and I'm blasting you to shreds. Well, the tanks have ended up with a pretty much resounding victory, but there were sections of it that looked like it was going to be a bit sketchy for them. Especially when the cross got broken through on this side. That's when it started looking the most sketchy. The other side definitely had huge strength in positioning compared to this side. At least that's what I assume. Is there another trapped zombie thing here? No, they're just not dying. I don't know why they're not dying. They're invincible. Oh my god, now it's chaos. Look at this. This is a mess. I love it. Oh my god, they're really about to win on this side. Well, ish. This side's... eh. We got more invincible zombies. Yeah, see, look, 6-3 because I'm on this angle, so it's firing mostly up. No, look, the tanks there. Now the zombies have to swap their focus. Yeah, this is not good for them. This is about to be a victory for the tanks. I mean, that looks fucking weird. It's like weird alien claws. Ugh. You can see more of this. I don't know why this... I don't know, maybe that was always there. I don't know. Yeah, okay, now it's just a matter of time. And we can nuke them and look at the carnage after this. Why are these ones not dying? Okay, they are dying. That was weird. Oh, look at this chaos. It's just a mess. They're lighting them up now. Look, see, now the tanks have the zombies surrounded. They're somewhere amongst you. I don't even know where they are. Well, let's see. There's 27 left somewhere there. Wow. What a mess this fight was. Looks cool though. Hey, this fight was supremely interesting. It's more interesting than I thought it was gonna be. The line was held for an extended period of time, and having one side that was not doing as well really spiced things up and made me a bit unsure for a period of time about how the fight was gonna go, especially when they burst through this corner and then burst through that corner. If they really had to rely on this side winning, which means in theory, like, if the positioning was right, you could have all four sides get punched through, and that would change the game for the tanks, really. Because if they all got... Are they all firing in that one spot? Oh, there they go. But, yeah. Let's nuke them now. Clear the tanks out the way. There we go. I think that's everything, right? Is that all the tanks gotten? Is them... Where are the last tanks? Oh, they're stuck there. We'll get rid of them. Are they what? Up there? Okay. There's still some tanks somewhere. I'm trying to clear it out, so I'm hoping that... Where are the 4 tanks? I was trying to clear it out so that the Sherman 1 thing would... Ah, hi. There we go. There we go. So, this is the carnage that we're left with. I'm curious to investigate and have a look and see. Here, it's pretty spread out piles. You can tell that they just pushed through over time. There's a couple of sections here that looked like they got balked a little bit and had to hold up. But overall, it's pretty even. You can see here, this is where like the lines were held really strong for a long time. There's just perfect piles that the tanks sat on and shot down from rather than up from. There's like this perfect line. Here, the line does push out a little bit and more rounded. As it gets further out, the piles seem to get a bit higher. There's a few sections, but you can see they were stopped up a bit more here than they were up there. And then obviously we've got this, which looks like it's even higher piles than over there. They held this line right on the money for ages. And that that held really strong. This section looks like it's a bit intermittent compared to the other two. There are sections where they look like they're held up for quite a bit, but sections where they just push through. I mean, here in particular, I mean, it's yeah, this is before, and this is, they got stopped up quite a bit, and I assume this happened when there was a bunch of flooding over from the other side that's caused this stacking to happen. Here, for example, this is where we get to like the awkward bit. These lines are a bit bolstered by this. They got held up actually here quite a bit for some reason. Then we push around to this bit, which is where they were holding the line well, and then you could tell they started to lose that line when the zombies were pushing over them and starting to fight back here, where a new line started to form a little bit. Which brings us to this bit, the final bit, where this was happening the whole time, and they're building up and building up, and they killed a lot, but they just stayed on this side and couldn't push, and they were getting doubly affected by a downslope. And they kind of got screwed. This side is where they got pushed through too. I mean, look at this. This corner is a mess. You can see the vague shape of a corner, but yeah, there's the cross, I guess. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you enjoy this content and want to see more, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment on what you want to see in the future. But for now, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!